Welcome back to the show, everybody. I know you want to get to Hunter ASAP, but I'm going to do what everybody does, and that's remind you to subscribe and hit the bell. Number one, it alerts you, lets you know when stuff comes. Also, I need subscribers. I have a need, and that's the need I need filled right now. Subscribers. So go ahead and do that thing right now. Great, go. You just did it. Awesome. Hunter came on the program this morning, and there'll be an entire podcast coming out, probably about an hour long, where we talked about Spartan games, Hyrox, his New Year's Eve, and many other fun things. But here's about a 20-minute chat, mostly focused on Hyrox. Away we go.
Okay.
The sled's flooded. I would say like the biggest indicators of what you're going to be able to do as a Hyrox athlete is how fast you can do 100 wall balls, how well you can run a 10K, and how well you can push that weight over that distance. And I know all of them isolated are different than one or another because you're fresh, blah, blah, blah. But those are at least three indicators you can use. And one thing I would say, it's like really dependent on, like it heavily relies on all of those good results, is you have to have a good pair of shoes. I'm not sponsored by Brooks, but I race in the Brooks Launch 7. Like Corinna raced in her whatever the ultras, and she couldn't even push the sled. And yeah, certain rubber doesn't grab the carpet. So, other than got nothing to stand on and complain about.
Yeah, and just to be clear, it's not something I trained for and then did it and was in a lot of pain. And I'm sure I'll do it again. But for this event, there's so much going on. It's like, listen, the time I spend not running, I can get more coverage. And that's what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to be doing at Hyrox Dallas.
I like it.
Yeah. I messaged Corinna. I'm like, you better fucking practice with the good shoes, man. We don't want to see you like cost yourself. I think the battle between her and Lauren and those other girls is going to be, pretty huge.
It's a stacked field, dude. It is a very, very stacked field. Like an underdog that I don't think many people are paying attention to is my girl Faith. I'm always in Faith's corner. I think if she trains a little bit, she will literally make these girls look like a joke.
Well, we watched her. We watched her performance at Spartan Games. But how fast can she run? Like, she's probably got a lot of work to do there, right?
No, dude, she used to be a triathlete. It's just like what happened with me. I went into the CrossFit and I just didn't run for 2 years to get really strong. But now that I'm starting to get out of it, I'm starting to get fast again. Like it's just like riding a bicycle. Like you can put it away for a while. Maybe you can't do all the same tricks you did before, but if you put a little bit of work in, it starts to come back like overnight. So I'm pushing her really hard. I think the typicals that are going to be there, like the Fays, the Faiths, the Faye, the Corinnas, the Laurens. I think Sam Briggs may come back. I think the German girl who took second is just, that girl is a Terminator, Viola. She should have, no offense to Lauren Weeks, but she could have won the thing based on her performance, but just based on like her raw talent was there, but her performance was under what her talent was offering. You just watched her go through everything, and it was just like watching the Terminator walk through brick walls. I was like, whoa, how is this girl pushing this sled, no brakes? How is she never put down the kettlebells. Nobody else did that. She never put down the kettlebells. Like, and then all of a sudden I watched her rowing form, dog shit, and her wall ball form, dog shit. And I was like, after the race, I was like, you could have won that thing. You just need to like take this and then apply it to this. Like when you're rowing, you're going to have to go into the gym and do some movements that are going to strengthen your upper back. So you're not rowing like this, and you're going to have to strengthen your core and your lower back so you can do wall balls instead of like this. I know these are all like analytical things, but as athletes who want to win world titles, like those are things you have to be on paper looking at constantly. So there's some freaks. And I want to address something. Someone made a post about how they're inviting people who haven't done Hyroxes and blah, blah, blah. I think it's Morgan. And everybody who's being invited to this thing has done a Hyrox or done something at an extremely high level. It's an invitational, like it's invited by the prior world champion. And what we're trying to do, not necessarily only cater to the group of people that are inside of our circle. We're trying to bring in other athletes to really try to test this sport, this modality, and athletes around the world. So don't take offense if you're not getting invited. Like David Megita's messaging me this morning and he's all up in arms. He's like, dude, what? Like, how am I not going to get invited to this thing, bro? And I was like, well, Megita, you haven't raced in like 6 years and you're focusing on being a gym instructor, which there's nothing wrong with that. But there's people right now who are at their like very peak of their performance and training as athletes, like world-class athletes. And we're giving all those people a chance. And like, you know, no offense to you, if you want it, earn it, or, you know, do something like outstanding. Like if he was like a prior existing Olympian and wanted to get invited in, maybe we'd have him on a piece of paper.
Or if he shows up at one this year and rocks it, he'll get invited to the next one. I want to say something about this. And you know, it's tough sometimes for me as the journalist. You know, it's like it's very unusual, right? I have a website and a platform that's news related, and news should be unbiased. However, it's such a small sport. I get super close to you guys, right? It's not a secret that like I really like Woods, I really like Atkins, I really like you, and I still have to report on it if you do something stupid or
No.
you know, Woods got popped. I had to report on that, like whatever it is. So like, I like Morgan, right? I like her a lot. I think I even wrote Hyrox about her before everybody was announced. I was like, oh, you should definitely invite like Morgan. And I didn't know how exclusive was at the time. I was like, you know, Kelly Sullivan, all the girls that have like been showing up a lot, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I would say that if I get invited, if I don't get invited, right? And I think I should, what a professional does is have those emotions, call your friend, be pissed. You're human. We talked about it earlier. You're human. You're pissed. Fuck, I wish I got invited. As a professional, you do not go on social media and act entitled about it. The smarter move is to drop Eric a note. Hey, Eric, saw this was happening. If anybody drops out or any opportunities show up, I'd love to be invited.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's the basic. You don't go on social and be like, oh, well, I did this. And it's like, come on. And again, Morgan, I like you. So I'm sorry that I have to do this. And I wasn't going to, but here we are. And now I'm talking about it. And so anybody, male or female, that's having that feeling, you can have that feeling. I totally get it. But but if you want to be a professional, you act like a professional. And I'll leave it at that.
It's interesting though. Like I watched the same thing happen during
Spartan Games.
And I don't think people are recognizing what's going on right now. It's like COVID, there's only a limited amount of people that you can bring to certain things. And some of the designs of the competitions that is going on, they're limited just by design. And I just saw a lot of negativity. And it's like even some of the highest level pros in our sport were saying some stupid stuff. And I was like, why would you guys tear apart some people that earned their spot maybe through hard work that they did 10 years ago? And I know that kind of negates what I just said about the Megita thing, but it was an interesting piece that we had with like Kurt. Kurt hasn't done football in a long time, but what he's done is transform his body to make him a newer athlete. And he was an interesting piece to have somebody of that caliber there. And like, you know, even like Mike Wardian was one of the weakest people there, but Mike Wardian worked harder than anybody else. He was my favorite athlete.
He was he was MVP. Absolutely.
And people, I think, looked at that and they were like, that's so stupid that guy was there. And Mike, I'm not trying to hack on you at all. I'm just mentioning something that's applicable to this conversation, but those were the best athletes there. Like those were the stories that were changing every single day, dynamically, very dynamically. And I think that that's like a really good opportunity for athletes like us to see at the highest level and learn from people who are on the up and coming to see and learn from.
Yeah, I think Mike and Grant and I think your girl Faith on the women's side were just like, what do you got next for me? I'll try it. And that's the attitude that we're talking about. That's the spirit we all love as an athlete. That's the professional attitude you get to get invited back to things. I mean, I wanted to root for those people.
Yeah. So I hope everybody understands where we're coming from. And I hope that there's another one of these things and you guys who are listening to this who think you want a spot, get a spot.
Right. That's the other thing, right? Like that. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's go back to, so let's wrap this bad boy up by talking about, there is still going to be the regular elite wave, correct?
There's still going to be an elite wave with cash on it. And I think that's still something like awesome to chase. Like
Right.
there's still points. You're still running on the same course. You could still beat the invitational people 10 times. Like you still have all the opportunity in the world to show how badass you are.
That's what I would do if I thought I was like, okay, cool, I'll show up and I'll beat your fucking time. Then you'll have to invite me next time.
Exactly. So that's still going on. The pro wave is still like up in the air for the men. Like there's just a lot of people. I will put this out there, like for the men's side, I think the women's side's completely buttoned up, but there's still opportunities. Like things
Listen,
change every single day.
right? People get injured, life changes, weddings happen, whatever.
Yeah, I think what you should do is you should message myself or you should message Hyrox World or Eric Botsford, some of your resume and see if you can get your spot in there. But like right now, there's Atkins, who's supposed to be coming on the men's side. Isaiah's supposed to be coming on the men's side. Grant is coming on the men's side. Myself. I don't really know. I mean, the Maragula brothers have already messaged in. David Magida is knocking at the door. Unfortunately, Kent has done like the really responsible new dad thing or soon to be new dad thing. And he's like, I promised my wife that I was not going to travel until we're completely settled. So I'm just going to wait. And I was like, wow, that is a strong and very responsible choice.
Super responsible, but I would advise him that there will be no time that you will be settled. So you gotta just pick a time. If you want to say 3 months or 6 months or a year, whatever that is, but there is no time that it quote unquote gets easier. The other
that would be like $10,000.
The other men so far confirmed that I posted just now on Obstacle Race Media Instagram.
Oh, sweet.
Are Elijah Muhammad and Eric Hinman, and I had not heard of either of those men previously. Can you tell us anything about them?
I don't really know much about them. Eric claimed that he beat my Murph record by like 4 minutes.
So does everybody. Show me the tape.
Yeah, and he used to date the girl that I'm currently dating now. So I'm just gonna fucking just beat the living piss out of him so he understands what she's getting now. And
is this public information
that I'm dating a girl?
Yeah.
I mean, I think so. I mean, I post about her quite often. I try to keep her name out of the business because every single time I start dating a girl, my friends sleep with them.
That sounds horrible.
I'm just kidding around. It's a long story.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay. That was weird. Let's talk about so when I reached out to Maragula after he did his 5-minute, 500-pound back-to-back.
Which was incredible.
Absolutely.
Incredible, by the way. Congratulations.
Yeah. So he did a 500-pound deadlift and immediately ran the under 5 mile. He did not later in the day, quote unquote. He did it right then. Different than a squat, but still impressive. He said, I just want to do more feats of strength. I don't care about doing these, other events, but maybe you can convince him because I'd like to see him do it.
Dude, he just messaged. I mean, that probably only lasted all 5 seconds because
now he's
messaged the people. He's messaged them. I don't know if he's in or not. So we're just like, the list is forming every single day. He would be a tremendous addition to it. I think that I don't know where he's at aerobically. Like so many people look at this thing and they're like, I'm so strong and I'm so fast. Really, you have to have a good 10K. That's it. It is a lot of running. You're going to get tired.
I got to say, I'm all for confidence. However, Hunter McIntyre, people are, dare I say, delusional. Yeah. Every year around World's Toughest Time, I get these messages. I've been training so hard. I'm going to probably be there. You haven't heard of me, but don't worry, you will. And like they're out at midnight. You know what I mean? Oh, I cramped up. You know what I mean? So a lot of people think they're really good at something, and then they show up and they get, sixth in age group, and they go, okay, I got work to do.
I really wish we could find a way to get, I don't know if it's cash or or some kind of like world, like everybody in the world just supports it and votes on it and we have to do it. But I would really like it if we could get the best triathlete, the best CrossFit Games athletes, the best Hyrox, the best Spartan race athletes, the best trail running athletes, and get them to all go compete somewhere so we could finally figure out who the heck the champ of all champs is.
Well, I have to say that Spartan's credit, I think they did do a good job with that. I think they did create a lot of chatter. I think they definitely brought some CrossFit eyes over. You could tell by some of the comments. It wasn't just Spartans that watched that. I think it does, because at first it's like, whatever, Spartan, you're not the fittest. It's CrossFit is the fittest on earth, blah, blah, blah. But I think they definitely did a good job in showcasing this stuff. And the production was good enough, even though I had many issues with it, that it did kind of keep that conversation going. And this whole concept of what is the hybrid athlete is having a moment right now. And because it is, and people want to figure that out. And so I think it's cool. And dude, I realized just now as I was about to get on with you, that it's 2021, which means this is the 10th year, beginning of the 10th year of me covering this stuff. It's a long fucking time. And would you say once every 6 months to a year, something new comes along and you're like, oh, cool, we didn't know that existed. And then it either sticks around or it doesn't, right? Whether it's that thing where everybody won money at the $40,000 thing, to TMX, to this, to Spark, like things come, some things go, but we just never know, dude. We never know what's going to come around the corner with this sport. It's still brand new and unique and weird. And there you go.
I get it, dude. By the time I'm done, you're probably going to have this big gray Burt Reynolds mustache and you're going to be talking about it in some kind of burgundy suit. And I may be on the other side of the camera too by that point.
Yeah, I would say you'd be great for the booth. You'd be like the Romo, right? A little more outspoken than Romo, but yeah. But you're gonna have to really slow down because you still got a young engine, so you're gonna have to slow down a lot before they can beat you.
I know, dude.
Are you mid-30s yet? Where are you? How old are you?
I'm 31. I'm 31.
Oh, dude, 5-6 more years of prime, baby.
Dude, I started racing Hobie Call when he was 32. And he wrecked people all the way until the age of 40. And he probably could come back right now.
But he was a runner his whole life, though. It's a little bit different. Like he was a skinny runner his whole life. So he did have that muscle memory and whatever going on. But yes, I'm saying you've probably got 5 good more years. I'm not.
Have you seen the reborn new Matt Novakovic? He's shredded right now, dude. He is shredded. He beat his time up a mountain outside of BYU where he went to college and ran D1.
Right.
He beat his time up the mountain at the age of 46.
Are you going to invite him to Masters Hyrox?
I wish. I want him to come compete. I don't think he'll do well, at least in the elite wave, at least first time going to this thing. But he's coming down here, flying in on Monday. We're staying in Big Bear for a week, and we're just going to like train in the mountains on bicycles and climbing up mountains in the snow and stuff. So I'm very excited.
And will we see this on your Hunter YouTube channel?
Fuck yeah, dude. I should have had a YouTube channel like 10 years ago.
Definitely. You would have been ahead of the curve.
I know. It would have been a dream come true.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up, giving you a chance to promote your YouTube channel, any sponsors, your house training.
Yeah. A couple things I want to talk about. One, I'll start with Hyrox because that's the most immediate thing. I think that everybody who's listening to this probably has some kind of inclination towards wanting to compete or is interested in it. I think they're going to be the first major brand to be putting on an event in 2021. And a lot of brands have been like completely locked down. And I think if you are a lover of sport and you want to see these brands continue to survive through this kind of like apocalyptic ice age of business, I think you should show up and support and give your all at this contest. Like it's very, very important to the industry as an athlete to go and support these things because I don't want to see another one go down. I don't think Hyrox is in that position just yet, but I think it's important to support and show other people that it's important to support as well. So sign up, throw it up on social media, get your network in. I'll be there at the pro show. We're all going to be having a great time. I don't think you need to be a pro to have a good time, but show up, have a good time. Other thing that I'm working on right now, house is growing faster than ever. We are just about to crest over 400 members, which is amazing. I didn't think this would ever happen, but it's growing so fast. We have training guys. We have everything that you ever want to do in fitness. And it's basically me here sitting at my desk, listening, putting together all the training guides I've had for the past decade of sport, and I absolutely love it. Matt, I'll send you some free ones if you want to look
Yeah,
at it.
why should Hepner be getting all this stuff? I see Hepner posting all this stuff. I'm like, dude, I want to learn from Hunter. I want to learn from the best.
Yeah, well, Hebner's stuff is absolutely great. There's a couple people I think in sports that just want to be the champion. Like Atkins just wants to be a champion, and I totally respect that. I have this side of me that I'm like, dude, I want to tell everybody the cool shit that I've been doing along the way. Like, I want to share it. I want to do it. Like, that's what I love to do. Other thing is Builder Nutrition is a supplement that I've been working on for years, and finally had the balls to Matt Mosman from Endurely helped me push me over the edge on this thing. He helped me start my own supplement line. I'll have my own supplement line starting in February 1st. We have a hydration drink that's coming out, and then a strength drink that's coming out, and freaking super pumped about that.
Did you see the names we got for name the flavors for Hunter?
What's that?
Oh, dude, I posted that when you shared something. I was like, what should this flavor be called? And people shared great stuff, and now I can't remember. Macho Melon, or Hunter's Giant Wang Orange, or whatever.
Yes. So those are the two things that are going on right now that I'm super excited about. And last but not least, it's New Year's. I want to thank the company that helped support me all the way through this year. A lot of companies had to kind of recede because of their budget, but one person who stayed by me was Pure Spectrum. It's a CBD company I work with. And I have to say, I'm very grateful. I'm super, super grateful for a company that believed in me through tough times. So I will always be there to support them. And obviously, thanks for having me on the show.
I, for one, cannot wait until those flavors come out. What Hunter flavors do you think Adore Elite should put out? Macho Manberry, Mullet Molasses, Bulk Pony Blueberries? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Love ya. Miss you. Mean it. I gotta run.